Hey, so I got to tell you, there's this one flight, well, not one flight, many flights. Special pilot. Uh, I
What
show
does
up to
that mean?
pre-flight the airplane,
Special.
and he's already pre-flighting. So he is doing the walk around. I fit you not, with bagpipes, like
Wait, what?
like bagpipes, like Scotland the Brave bagpipes, Braveheart. So
He's
I don't know if
he,
he's walking around playing the bagpipes, but he's doing
he's
his walk
playing.
around. Playing, actively making the noises. Like, I don't know, I can't even duplicate that noise with my mouth. If you've heard bagpipes, if you haven't, look it up. It's an interesting sound. I love the sound. I used to be a volunteer firefighter.
Yeah.
Bagpipes are a big part of the fire service, and I love the sound of bagpipes, but I did not ever expect to hear it while working with airplanes. So,
So is this in your airline job or your freight job?
Cardinal. Okay. So I come out and you walk out to the airplane. It's outside on a ramp. You got a long walk from the building to the airplane.
So
And
it's
you hear
not
like
in
that.
view of the general public then.
It is. If airplanes taxiing by, right? They're going from the terminal to the runway, and we're parked on the other side of the runway because cargo's always on the other side of the runway from the passenger terminal. And he is, I don't know if he's blessing the airplane or if he just really liked playing bagpipes so much that he couldn't wait till we were done flying to do it.
Oh my
But
god.
he's bagpiping his walk around.
That
It's, I don't know how to explain.
bizarre, but I so want to see this and
I
experience it.
know. I don't. This was before camera phones. This was before
Yeah.
recorded evidence as such. Pretty. Like I said, I like bagpipes, but never thought it would happen with airplanes. So
That's so weird. And this is, where did he do it? Where did he stick them?
you pack it up pack it back up in its case or bag or whatever you put a bagpipe in, and then put it in the airplane and go to work and fly.
So the walk around comes with its own theme song.
For this guy, yeah.
Wow. That. What was he like to fly with?
Standard.
Oh,
I
really?
don't know if that's. Yeah.
I'm not sure what to make of that.
I know, right? It doesn't seem right. You think like you're.
I was expecting some wacky, crazy story.
Yeah, it doesn't. It just goes to a
That
standard.
just makes it even better. That just makes it even better.
That's
like,
pretty
because
fun,
you're
right?
expecting something and he just puts them away, doesn't say a thing.
Oh gosh,
Oh my
I'm Captain Richard Million
And
with a weird story.
And I am MC Howe, your co-captain here
Oh, I love the
Cats
co-captains.
on Guard. Welcome. We are into the weird today, aren't we?
Weird, worst,
Imagine
annoying. I don't know, it wasn't annoying, but we've had some annoying ones.
For the listener out there and the general public, they have this image in their brains of the airline pilot as this upstanding, moral compass. They kind of have this image of us as gods, right? I'm pretty
think it's
sure.
like you're got to be a military-esque, like cut, right? Salute.
Right. Like I know that when I walk by, people snap to attention, and they actually no, I actually did have that happen one time. I got off an airplane, and the other crew was sitting in the chairs, in the waiting area, and I knew the captain. He was just sitting there, and I walked up to him, and the FO, never saw this kid before in my life, jumped out of his seat, jumped to his, "Thank you, sir. Good to meet you, sir." I'm like, where did this kid get? Where can we get more of this? Yeah.
Did you get your autograph too?
Almost, yeah. No, we're not like that at all. We are goofballs. We are people doing jobs, and we try to do the best we possibly can. But every now and then, we encounter someone a little different, don't we?
I think 1 in 10. I'll give it 1 in 10.
Yeah. That's
either
probably a
weird
good number.
or bad. 1 in 10, weird or bad in a way, maybe not in skill, but just bad to be around for 4 days.
No. I mean, there are some people that their skills could be sharpened, but for the most part, I never feel, this person shouldn't be here. For the most part.
I have.
Oh, okay. Tell me about that.
I have. Oh, you want to hear about it?
I very much do.
All right. So as the years have progressed, aviation has found a way to kind of stop people from falling through the cracks. But over the years, I've also found people that have fallen through the cracks.
Oh, no.
Yeah. So I'm flying with a guy that, yes, man. Just a yes, man. And yes, I understand. No, he doesn't. Yes, I've got it. No, you don't.
Oh no.
And you just learned after like the first hour that nothing you say is going to make this better. Like they're just going to tell you they've got it and they don't. So, I mean, one thing after the next, like, hey, did you check this in the free flight? Yep, I got it. And then you turn it on and it's broken.
Oh
So
my
you
God.
didn't check it, you know? And that's like sets the tone for the rest of the trip. And then, you know, you're going to make this level off? Yeah, I'm going to make it. No, you didn't. You know, I'm going to call an ATC. Hey, we're not going to make this in time. Can
Oh
we get some
jeez.
relief on that restriction? Yeah, no,
So
they don't want
these,
to do paperwork.
yeah.
I don't want to do paperwork, right? So, yeah, we're good. We're good. And I did my best. I really did to try and make sure this guy got better, right? That
So
you
that's
can't
not.
change. Yeah, you can't change them, but you can help.
So that's not a quirky, weird pilot. That's just a bad pilot.
That's what I mean. Like falling through the cracks, like
Yeah.
somehow managed to get all the way on to flying the jet,
And
like signed off and everything, and just still doesn't understand how to level an airplane off at an altitude that without, you know, busting through it or something like basic airmanship. But maybe the airplane they came from did it for them, and now they're
like
flying an airplane that doesn't do it for
that,
you, or
what that can happen, or you're used to an airplane that is so antiquated and old, like your old 727, that you had to be on top of everything, and then
you
you
know,
get into a fancy new jet like you're in now that does it all for you, and you don't know how to manage the computer. Is really what it
yeah.
is.
Oh, that's a legit concern. Yeah, but I mean, I'm not yeah, unable to learn. Some people just are unable to
Oh
learn new
yeah,
things, but they got the job, and they, you know, kind of force you into making sure you get them. Sometimes what do you call them? Warm body in the seat. You ever heard of that?
yeah. You just need a butt in the seat. That's it.
Yeah.
I had a
So like,
guy like that. Yeah, he was brand new to the brand new to the airline, brand new to the airplane. All I kept hearing from this, I flew 23 years of my last airplane, 23 years, 23 years, 23. I just kept hearing, he just kept, 23 years. Okay. I did one leg with the dude. He was unstable twice, which, which,
did
which
did he
means we
try to
did.
make that new plane like his old plane?
He just, you know what? He was a real talker. And
Good.
I fly with him. I just flew him again not long ago. And I like the guy. I really enjoy talking to him. He's wacky and weird and he's got some crazy out there ideas, but, um, you know, that one day he set that tone with that 23 years. And I'm like, okay, you're better than I am, I guess. Oh no,
Prove
turns
it.
out you're not. Yeah.
Some people I find that try to make like when you change airplanes and well, on the King Air we did this. And I'm like, well, guess what? This isn't a King Air.
That's right.
So stop trying to make it into
That's
one.
right. Yeah.
Oh, it drives me nuts. So
Well,
so we are we talking about bad personalities, or are we talking about bad skills? Or what direction are we going here?
you know, the bad skills tend to get weeded out for the
Yeah,
most part. And I think it's much more entertaining to talk about these personalities, don't you?
I do. How about a really good pilot who's a real pain in the ass to be in public with?
Oh,
You
you
have any
got
of
one?
those? I do.
Let
I
me
have a great one.
start.
So, okay, I'll start. So flying with this guy, really great pilot, loves aviation. He bleeds aviation. He taught me how to fly one of my first jets, old school and also a bit of new school, just very educational overall. But I swear, as soon as we walked away from the airplane, I just was embarrassed to be next to him in the same uniform.
Jeez.
Like we'd walk up to, oh man, so there's this one trip we had passengers and the flight attendants and the pilots. We went out on like a hike together because we were in a cool hotel near the woods. And the flight attendant and I are like going over, just talking about our lives. Like we're younger, he's older, and she showed me pictures of her family. I'm like, oh, this is cool. That's your brother, and that's okay. And she has a picture of her mom up there, and this guy pokes his head over our shoulder. We're kind of taking a break. I set the scene here. We're hiking, but we're taking a break, so we're just kind of standing around having water. And he pokes his head over her shoulder and goes, "Is that your mom?" I do
No.
her.
Oh, I knew that was coming.
You knew it was coming, right? Yeah, I
Yep.
do her. And her and I look at each other like, that just happened? Like a
Okay.
coworker just said that to me about my mom. And I'm like, I am so sorry. Like, I don't like, oh my God, that was so uncalled for.
All right. I've got one that's worse. Yeah. You just reminded me of a time I was with a guy, Frenchman, if I recall. He saw a young girl, like 14 years old in the terminal. And he made a comment that
Oh,
just,
no.
and I didn't have
Loud in
kids.
public? Out loud in
Yeah.
public.
Yeah, to me, but in public,
Oh,
yeah.
no.
Oh my God.
How do you handle that? Like, do you, like, alert the authorities? I mean,
You should, right? Yeah. God, and I didn't have a daughter then, so maybe I
uh,
was less sensitive to it, but oh my
uh,
jeez.
yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
they're out
no.
there. They're out there, and there is a stereotype out there, isn't there?
Well,
A lot of these.
it's like an old crusty captain, right? Usually,
Yeah,
like back in my
yeah,
day, we'd slap them on the rear and tell them they did a good job, like that kind of guy.
I know.
So I had this
You know
one
what?
guy walk up to a hotel counter, checking in together. Again, embarrassed to be in a uniform next to him, and I think he thought it was still the '50s or something. He walks up to the counter and goes, "Morning, sugar tits."
Oh God.
I said, "You can't say that to another person in public. What are you
Or
talking about? I'm just giving her a compliment." I
well,
know, but it's
oh God, women.
2010 or whatever year it
No,
was,
women
2015.
love that. Gentlemen love that. Anybody call me that, right?
Hey,
Yeah,
oh, I know, but
so
we're professionals. We're in our uniforms. We have our
it's
company
the worst,
badge like
isn't it?
attached
I
to us.
know.
And
I had a guy. Yeah, he's just every swear word you can imagine at the top
in
of his
public,
lungs
out
in the
loud,
terminal. In the terminal.
no
Yep.
filter.
No filter.
And
Nope.
these are
Right
people that
there.
are professional pilots. They do
Yeah,
exist, folks.
they
They're
do.
out there.
You know what the good thing is? Once you become the captain, you can set the tone.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean everybody follows the tone, um, but you can just shut it down if you need to.
Yeah. Hey, cut that out now.
Yeah, yeah,
Honestly, and the FO should be able to do that too.
should be, and a lot of them do. Of course, then there's also the FO that acts like the captain and believes they're the captain, and they know better than the captain.
Oh, there's those two. Oh,
Can I tell
man.
you a story?
Please.
So I'm flying with this person who, our company had gone through an overhaul of our books, and a lot of our procedures changed. This is a simple reading a checklist story. You do your pre-flight brief where, you're getting to know each other for the first time sometimes. These are the things we're going to do. When this happens, we're going to do this thing. This happens, we're going to do that thing. And so I'm going through it, and this person says, we don't do it that way anymore. That's not how you're supposed to brief me. Well, that's how I'm briefing you. Well, they changed the book and they took that out, and you shouldn't be saying that stuff.
Was this person right out of training?
No, a couple of years in.
Oh. So they
Couple
shouldn't
years
be
in.
that rigid.
No, shouldn't be. Well, then we're doing a taxi and rolling down toward the runway for takeoff, and you go through checklist, and you call out, speeds. What speed are we going to take off? What speed is going to this is going to happen at this, and you just say each speed is assigned a number: V1, V2, this, that, the other. So on the Airbus, there's V1, VR, V2, which is V1 is the speed at which you lose an engine, it's safe to stop on the runway. VR is the speed at which you take off. And V2 is the speed at which, if you take off and then lose an engine, you maintain that speed, you're able to climb away from the ground. And then we have something called a flex temperature, which is a very fancy and scientific thing that has a number assigned to it, and we say that number. So the call out on the checklist is V1, VR, V2, flex, and you say the speeds. So I say the speeds, like 151, 152, 155, flex 55. This person says, why did you say flex? I said, what? Well, you didn't say V1, 151. You just said the number. You didn't say V2. You just said the number.
Oh.
Then when you got the flex, you said flex. Why did you say flex?
This is happening. I'm like right up by the runway.
Yeah, we're right at the runway to take off.
Not the time for this debate.
No,
Yeah.
no. Oh my God. And it's everything. The whole trip was like that.
While that may be like slightly correct, CRM would dictate that's not the time for that debate. You talk about that when you get up there going and cruise, like, hey, by the way, back there.
Even worth talking about?
For that person it is, but the timing's
because
terrible.
I said flex. They have to flex their knowledge now.
Okay, so those of you at home, the engines can always take off at full power or land or use full power, whatever, but it wears the engines out more. So the computer decides the lowest possible thrust that the engine can use and still get the plane off the ground safely. So it does a reduced thrust takeoff where it lowers the, instead of redlining your engine when you accelerate on the highway, like you put the pedal halfway down and you still get up there to highway speeds, right? So the engine of the airplane are doing the same thing. It's just reducing it to, but no more than a safe amount. So that's the flex thing we're talking about.
Right, right. But what we're really talking about is this jackhole that doesn't know their place.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna say I don't know. I'm gonna take the other guy's side on this. You
Are you
standardize your
really?
call outs. Yeah.
Okay, well, fine. That. All right. But for the rest of everything else, let me just put it this way. I have told this story about flying with this individual to a number of people, and I don't get very far in. And they all say, oh, was it this person?
Oh, everyone knows. Yeah. Yep.
Everyone knows. Yeah.
Oh, there's
So,
this one guy that during cargo we used to mock his voice to any customer service representatives outside of the airplane environment, like an FBO counter, a hotel representative, uh, a van driver, and they knew exactly who we were talking about every time.
my
So
gosh.
we used to walk up and go, "Why is the van late? I've been waiting 12 minutes. This is unacceptable." We do that
Oh,
voice, and then they go, "Oh my
oh
God, it's
no.
Mr. And they knew. Like, are
Oh
you
my
making fun of
gosh.
Mr. Such and Such? Like, yes,
Oh
we are.
no.
Oh yeah, I won't say the name,
Oh,
but if you're at
terrible.
home and you don't think this is an acceptable policy for a hotel to have, you already know who I'm talking about, cargo guys.
Oh my God. That's you poor boy.
It's okay. We see a lot of so here's the other cool thing about cargo. Not cool. No, it's not really cool at all. A lot of people that fly cargo, or at least the stereotype, somewhat from some truth to it, is that they're like drunks and felons and people that couldn't get a job at a good airline, right?
Yeah.
But there's some truth to it. There really is. There's some cargo airlines that want you to have a misdemeanor or two because they know you'll never go to Delta or American and leave them.
Oh, yeah.
So
Yeah.
we
And
have those people. The
but you know what?
domestic violence
Sometimes those
guy.
people do end up at Delta and American and the other places. I was standing around one year during recurrent training
Yeah.
and classroom day. During a break, there was like 5 or 6 guys over there swapping DUI stories.
Oh, God.
Oh my God. And they all had one. I was just standing off this side and one of them caught the look on my eye and he goes, oh, you wait. It'll happen to you.
They
Well,
must have gotten it while they already worked there because the union would like to like keep your job, right? Maybe,
yeah,
like
I
they
don't
make
know.
you rehab your way through and some things. But like typically those big prestigious airlines won't hire you with a record from your past like that.
You know, there's always crack slippers though, right?
Yeah, yeah, it happens. Nowadays with the computers, that probably doesn't slip through at all.
Maybe not. I don't know. But it's like also there's the DUI guys and there's the divorced guys. I remember
Well,
I remember being on a flight deck with 2 jump seaters. So there were 4 of us in the flight deck, and 3 of these guys were giving me tips on how to handle my eventual divorce.
do they have AIDS?
What? No, I
Do
didn't
they have...
ask their health status.
No, AIDS.
I,
Aviation-induced divorce syndrome. You
I didn't.
never heard of AIDS?
No, I'm sure I have. No, I don't know. I don't know. I tell you what, though, the one of all the things that they told me that I dismissed, I do remember one thing they said for all you gentlemen and ladies, if you're getting ready to have a divorce, go out and buy gift cards for yourself, you know, to your local grocery store or Target, load up on gift cards, hundreds and thousands of dollars of gift cards, because I guess the lawyers can't take them.
Oh, well, somebody's learned a thing or two.
Yeah. That's the only thing I took away from that
What's that
conversation.
insurance commercial? We know a thing or two because we've seen a thing or two.
That's right. That's right.
The
Yeah.
cockpit jump seater divorce stories, huh?
Well, on the flip side, there have been some crazy fun people too. Now,
Really?
that doesn't mean that they're good pilots or that they're good people that you want to hang out with, but they do entertain. I had a guy back in my regional days who loved the trapeze. He was a
Swinging
big
from a
swinging
rope.
like in the circus tent. This guy would he would go on vacation to places that had a trapeze school so that he could swing from the circus tent and just and the fun part was he was built like Humpty Dumpty, you
No
know,
way.
like
I was going
just
to
a
ask him
rope.
how fit was
No,
this guy
yeah,
because
he
you got to be
wasn't fit
really
at
light.
all. He would fit inside an eggshell. That's how he would fit. He was roly poly, but he loved this. Man, he would show you pictures. And actually, I searched him up not that long ago. I was just curious, actually, when we were planning this. And I found video of him
No
doing his
way.
trapeze. Yeah,
Oh
I've shot.
my.
I don't know if it was his Facebook or his Instagram, but he's still out there swinging around, and he was
Oh man.
crazy, but he was weird in flight. Like back in those days, you know, we these days everything's very digitized, and we get all the
Mhm.
information. It comes printed out, very nice and formatted. All the weather and airport goings on that we need before takeoff. Well, we didn't have any of this stuff back then. We had to listen to a recording and then jot it down. And we never had paper. We didn't have a pad of paper in those days. We were
Hotel
looking at
pads.
cocktail napkins.
Oh, that works.
Flight attendant brings you a Coke, and if they're doing a great job, they'll present you with that cocktail napkin as if you were. So grab those cocktail napkins and write it down. And this trapeze man, he was like, no, that is not how we are going to write the ATIS information here. And he would he had a hotel pad or something.
Absolutely.
But he would divide the page up, and he would put all these little sections together in diagonal areas here and there. And he said, this goes in this information, this goes in this box, and this information goes in this box. And it's like, really, man?
The trapeze guy had a really organized hotel pad layout. So my hotel pad layout in the 727 was scribble it when I'm done with the message, box it, scribble somewhere else, box that in, and when I was done with that information, I put an X out in it. So I did have like a grid, kind of look like tic-tac-toe by the end.
Yeah,
but I wasn't making it standard for other people to have to do it.
Well, that's the thing. It was his standard that only he knew.
And you had to do it too?
Yeah, and I had to learn it when I was with him.
Yeah.
No. But then he was weird too. Like he would sing in flight, sometimes with choreography.
Like through the intercom, like enough that you could hear it?
No, like to me.
No.
Yeah,
no,
like
not acceptable.
I remember one time we got a radio change radio, call the controller. The controller goes, hello. And he started singing Hello by Lionel Richie. Just hello, my friend, hello. Or maybe that's Neil Diamond. Either way, he was singing, and the songs kept coming, and sometimes there was some, dancing to go with it.
In flight.
Yeah, in flight.
In-flight dancing. That's a new one. That's a new one here at Cats on Guard.
In his seat, but still.
Yeah. No, that's still legal.
You do what you can.
I mean, I think I'd take a dance over whistling. Like the other whistler people, like they just kind of whistle to themselves.
Sure.
You don't know what's in their head, and you can't quite make it out from whistling.
All right.
You got to hear it.
All right. Well, let me ask you this then. You got your dancer, you got your whistler, and you got your Bible thumper.
Oh, yeah. We've all had that, I think, right?
I had one time. We were flying across the country. We had like 4 or 5 hours in flight together. And he decided that this was a great time to do Bible study.
Is he going to convert you?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He was hitting me hard. And I'm happy to talk. I enjoy a little one-on-one if I can counter their points with any hard researched facts. The problem is when you don't know that this is what your day is going to be, you don't come prepared, and they are very prepared. Yeah. So I always lose that. So
I've been there too, and I don't affiliate with any particular religion. Like I
bet you affiliated with all of them based when I met you.
Yeah, pretty much, right? So but I like to hear all the different angles of everything. Yeah, I'm a devil's advocate guy.
Yeah.
Like on the other hand, I love to do that.
Well, I point out just it's these people, it's their way or no one.
That's the
if
thing.
You don't do it my way, you're gonna burn in hell. And I said, well, okay. I said, well, what if God said to you, do it your way? And then he went over to the Jews and he said, hey, you guys do it this way. And then he went over to the Muslims and said, yeah, forget what I said to the Jews and the Christians. This is the way I want you to do it. And I just kept going down the list. And he just said, no, that is not the way it is.
No, there's only one way. Yeah.
That's
Bible thumping. I guess. Like you can thump any book, right? Like,
well, yeah.
I've never had anybody try to convert me to like Muslim or Judaism.
No.
It's only the one.
Yeah, because no one else cares.
You know what?
Everybody else is happy. Everybody else is happy with their position.
So here's the only thing I had, like, and they don't like when I say this, but I'm like, hey, what's heaven supposed to be like? And they're always like,
Oh.
oh, it's this magical. There's like family and happiness. And I was like, kind of sounds like Thanksgiving dinner, right? And
Exactly.
like, and then
My
they're like,
family,
well,
I'm not going.
that's what I'm saying. So I'm like, what about hell? It's like all these people that did all this bad stuff when they were
Strangers?
teenagers and they're drinking and drugging and all these. I'm like, that sounds like a hell of a party, man.
I
I don't
know.
know. All
I
the
feel
people
like
I know are probably in hell.
if heaven's filled with the people that know you and hell is all strangers, it doesn't sound all that bad.
I don't know. That drives them
Maybe.
up a wall, though.
Oh,
I
yeah.
even if I 100% agree with them, I always just play devil's advocate for the
Yeah.
sake of conversation. So
Yes.
and then at the end I'll be like, hey, I agree with you. I just was giving you counterpoints to like try to open your mind a little bit. Like I can't watch one like left or right political thing. I have to hear like both sides and
Right.
like pit
Yeah.
them against each other, right? And play
Yeah.
like even
That's
if
smart.
I'm on your political side, which I don't know what that is, I will still play the other side for the sake of conversation.
Yeah. Yeah. That's
Can I
smart.
get a rise out of you? And then
I've tried the same. When I had one guy, one day we were flying over a mountain range and he looked down and he goes, look at those. Look at how they ripple, just like sands on the beach. That's only Noah's flood could have created that. Or, plate tectonics. But
tectonic plates, yes.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But this guy, do I want to say he was a Jehovah's Witness?
Maybe.
I just did. So I spent a month flying with this guy. Lovely guy, but we were 2 weeks into that month before I realized he was working me the whole time.
Oh, really?
Oh,
Very,
he was
very
that
low key,
good.
huh?
Oh,
Wow.
very low key. But he had this way of navigating or steering the conversation in this direction, which is little things that he was saying. I didn't get it. And then 2 weeks, the light bulb went off. I said, oh, that's good. Oh, hats off, sir. You've done a remarkable job. You're going to fail in this mission, but well done. And he was
That's
an
awesome.
interesting cat. He was an interesting cat to talk about like science and stuff with.
Okay.
About this, it was a time when they had discovered a new species of fossil, like miniature people in some island way. And I bought a Scientific American magazine while I was in the terminal because they had an article about this, and I was reading it, and he saw it. He said, "It's just such nonsense right there." I was like, "No, it's not nonsense at all. They nobody could be that old. The Earth is only 6,000 years old." I said, well, they radiocarbon dated this to 14 whatever million years or something. He goes, well, that's just silly. I don't know how radiocarbon dating works, therefore I cannot believe it. And I said,
the same argument could use the other direction.
I said, I don't know how a jet engine works, but here we are. I put my faith in the guys that know it.
Oh boy.
Yeah, he was also this cat. So talk about weird and quirky. We went out to a restaurant. See, I get along with everybody. We went out to a restaurant. We get to the hotel. Let's meet in an hour down at the restaurant. He walks into the restaurant an hour after we check into the hotel. He's still wearing his pilot clothes.
Why?
I asked him that. He said, my wife always packed my suitcase for me. She died 2 years ago, and I never learned how to pack. I mean, think about this a moment. You spend 20 years opening that suitcase, seeing how she did it. After 20 years, you would think that you might have picked up a tip or two, but he didn't. So he just didn't ever change out of his pilot clothes. After dinner, we're walking through a mall. There's a suitcase shop. In the display window, they have an open suitcase, a packed suitcase. And he is looking at this thing like, oh, look, they put that there, and this one fits in there. And
seriously? You're not kidding.
Oh, I'm not making this up. No,
that's special.
It was special. Well, you know what? It all worked out in the end because 6 months later, I ran into him again. He was remarried. All was right with the world.
Wow, that was quick after all the sadness, and now someone else packs the suitcase again.
I was never sad about it.
But I mean, losing your wife, that's gonna suck, right? So
I think he just wanted to wear jeans again, maybe.
So you found someone else to pack a suitcase for him again. You ever call off sick to avoid somebody? I have.
I have dropped a trip.
Okay,
Yeah,
so you knew it was
I don't know if I've ever called out sick, but I have dropped.
So
Yeah.
we had a flight, and it was like a bunch of legs, but I knew it was coming back through the base. So the first, I didn't know it was going to be bad because I never flown with this guy before. So we show up. I knew never flown with you, never flown with me. You know the big intro, right? Like don't assume I know everything, and we'll watch out for each other. And like I don't know, an hour into this thing, I have had it. I've been don't call him with good morning. Just say this instead. Then you do, well, you missed it. You didn't say that. Very micromanaging, right? So with the radios or the way I reached for the gear handle or just every little thing, I just was not having it. And I said, you know what? The next leg comes back through the hub. I know we have more pilots there. And I started premeditating my excuse.
Yeah.
And now I'm plotting how to get away from this guy.
Oh, geez.
I mean, everything I do is wrong. And it's not wrong, by the way. It's all by the book, but wrong
Sure.
to him, right?
Wrong to him. He's got his
Yeah,
own book.
yes. And I'm not into that. I do my procedures the way that the people paying my paycheck tell me to. If I go work for XYZ airline and they say that you say good morning, uh, and the next people say you have to say buenos dias, then that's what I do. Whoever's paying my check, I'll say it. I'm an actor and you give me the script. So we get where we're going. We're about to return back through the base, and we still have more flying to do, but we're on the way to the base. And I got it. What's a reasonable enough illness where like I'm not going to get investigated, but I can get off this trip safely? I go, my ears are kind of itching. So then we start descending. I'm like, my ears are really hurting.
Oh,
I must have
no.
some sort of congestion,
Yeah.
sinus lockup. I'm going to radio into base and tell them to get another pilot to come out for me. Yeah, you do that, man. Yeah, you do that. I'll cover the radio. So I jump on comm one. I am so happy
Oh,
to get on the
geez.
radio with, hey, I'm going to need somebody to swap me out. I'm unable to continue.
Maybe he was happy to get rid of you.
Maybe I'm the guy that
Yeah.
everyone hates.
This guy won't do it my way. I need to replace him with somebody that will.
They'll just chew us all out and grab another one, spit us out. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I radio and they get another pilot to come in. So another newer, first officer to this senior crusty captain who has his own way of doing things. And as I'm walking out of the building, Dick, I see the other guy coming in and he's like, oh, you feeling all right, dude? I'm like, I am fine. I just had to get the hell away from that guy. Good
Oh, is
luck.
this is the guy that's replacing you?
Yeah, the guy that's replaced me. He's like, what's wrong? And I'm like, if you don't already know, like nothing you do will be good enough anyway.
Way to set him up.
Have fun. You got 2 legs. Enjoy it.
Yeah, way to set him up for that. Nice.
Some of the people that have more time, like at the company, or more experience. I was very new to the airplane, so I think this was the DC-9. Anyway, when you have more foundation, you have more room to put your foot down, right? And
yeah,
hey, that's not the standard. Hey, that's not acceptable. Or, hey, I'm going to do it this way because it's acceptable, and I will. Like I didn't have that kind of backbone in the airplane and the fleet yet, so I didn't do that. I just failed. That was the only time I've ever in 16, 17 years of professional aviation, like walked off to get away from somebody.
Yeah. We've got a guy like that where I work who here's the deal. Every time you come to work, you have the possibility of flying with somebody you've never met before. And in order to make sure the airplane lands safely and everybody goes home, you got to follow standard operating procedures, which we go to 6 weeks of school. Every time you start a new job and they drill it through your head, and you go through it every year and they drill it through your head. And we got this guy that he's got his own standard operating procedure that he uses, and he's got a reputation. Everybody knows him, and I don't know why he still has a job, but I really thought I hadn't flown with him before because I didn't have a story like this.
Huh.
I knew every story, but I didn't have one of my own until the day he got on my airplane as a deadheader. So he's just riding in the back as a passenger, getting from one place to the next. And he comes up and he sticks his head in the flight deck. He goes, "Hey guys, I'm Rocky G. I'll be in the back." Okay. And I'm like, oh God, it's him, right? So one of the quirky things about this, he's an old throwback to a different era when, you got this image of the airline pilot with this double-breasted jacket and the stripes on his sleeves and the hat perched firmly atop the head. Well, a lot of them don't require the hat anymore. In fact, some of them have done away with it altogether. And this is one of those places. Well, EG cannot be a pilot without a pilot hat. So, uniform be damned, he went out and got himself his own pilot hat, and he still wears it. So, we're flying it along and take a bathroom break. The flight attendant comes up front. She says, this pilot, he won't leave me alone. He's been standing in my galley for an hour talking my ears off. He will not stop. Okay, that's Rocky G. I said, is he wearing his hat? She's like, what are you talking? So I could explain the whole hat thing to her. Right? Now, we land, next couple hours go by. We land, and I get up to leave, and he's standing in the doorway waiting for me. He says, I'm going to walk you out. I'm like, why? I heard you were asking about my hat.
Oh, no.
Oh, she sold me out. I'm like, yeah, man, I just made a joke. I didn't mean anything about it. I apologize. Well, you shouldn't talk about people, You shouldn't talk about it because I get into it with people. I get into it all the time. I say, yeah, I understand. It was a joke. Again, I apologize. Yeah, well, I want to make sure, we're not going to have a problem, you and me. We're not going to have a problem, are we? I was like, we're not going to have a problem. I'm going home. I assume you are too. And, we don't fly together because we're both captains. Well, I get into it with my FOs. I get into it all the time. Where's your FO, by the way? Where is he? I'm like, he's gone already. I don't know.
Lucky him.
What is happening here? He's like, well, sometimes I get into it with people, and he shouldn't talk about people. He shouldn't talk about people. What, this guy? What about this guy? I'm like, is this someone we're talking about now? Yeah, no, I don't know this guy. He goes, yeah, well, I got it. I got into it with him big time. He committed suicide.
Oh
my God! What?
Maybe you should stop getting into it with people.
And what about this other? This other guy? No. Yeah, I got into him too. He's in jail now. And I'm like, is you gonna follow me home? What is happening? He goes, I remember you. You live in this town, right? I said, I do, but that's also written on my bag tag. Did you just read that as we're walking out? He goes, no. He goes, I remember you. You got a house with a wood-burning stove. I don't have a house with a wood-burning stove. No, yes, I remember you. You just got a brand new truck. I said, I've never had a truck. I'm thinking, this guy's going to follow me home. He's going to be sitting outside in his El Camino staring at my house from the curb for the rest of the weekend. And what am I going to do? And oh, by the way, why are you wearing the hat? Because that's not part of the costume. And if the image you're trying to portray is one of a professional-looking pilot, then tighten up your tie, do your top button, and don't walk around looking like a hobo.
I'm going to clap for you in the microphone. That's amazing.
Oh, my God.
Oh, gosh. I got to tell you, like a wacky, silly happiness one. I had a guy who I'm still friends with today who's he's just great at everything he puts his hands on, right? He's like good musician, good driver, good pilot, just really sharp guy. Very happy for him. He brought his accordion to work one day.
Oh, does he know the bagpipe player?
No, yes, he does.
You got to get those.
He does. No, yeah. We do not. But listen, so this is, like I said, very talented, very skilled guy. He doesn't need sheet music to play his accordion. He can play anything after he's listened to it.
Oh, that's good.
Isn't that really sharp? Really cool. Sharp human being.
Yeah.
So one of my dumbass, sarcastic coworkers plays I can't remember the name of the artist. It was like a rap song. It was like "Lick It Like a Lollipop" or something. Lit.
Yeah.
Anyway, and he plays this rap song for like 30 seconds, and then he lets Accordion Man digest it, and then we turn the rap song off from the speaker, and he breaks out the accordion and starts playing a rap song in accordion.
Oh, fun!
It was and we're just dancing. This is a great way to wrap up a long day of flying, right? We're gonna listen to some accordion rap music.
Fantastic.
I wish him the best. I haven't seen him in a couple of years. I'll have to catch him soon.
Yeah, we should get a
the accordion man, the rap accordion. Oh boy.
Well, hopefully he's not the last weirdo that you run across, right? Because
it won't ever end. I guarantee it.
It doesn't end. It doesn't end. God forbid they ever go to single pilot operations. Who are we going to share these stories about?
Oh my gosh, that's terrifying. We won't have stories.
It's not even terrifying to think that only one pilot is up there. It's like we're going to run out of stories.
The social
That's
interaction will be gone. All the
fight that
introverts
off.
will love it. They will be so happy. The
That's
introverts.
true. That's true. I'll be right there with them, but I won't have anything to talk about on Cats on Guard, and that's why we're here.
Yeah.
Send us your emails. Send us your questions. We got more topics coming up. I'm MC Howe.
Captain Rich Vermillion.
See you next time.